The story of the game is the wide receiver superstar performances, and Puka Nacua going absolutely berserk. JSN matching him in the second half. They trade game-winning touchdowns. Now, fantasy-wise, not much to take away from that, but I just think marveling at the level of play that those two got to is the story.
Congratulations to Puka Nacua for no racist touchdown celebrations either.
America held its breath. Yeah, he got tackled inside the 5 twice. The crazy thing about Puka is that he scores 46.5 points. He got tackled inside the 5 twice, and Stafford missed him wide open for a 40-yard touchdown.
Could have somehow been so much bigger.
I feel like he underperformed. I wanted more from Puka.
It's unbelievable. I'm in a guillotine league where I have both Puka and JSN. We're down to final 2. I mean, everyone's got a super team, right? So I'm feeling pretty good in that league. And of course, in the other league, I'm playing against a guy that has both. So
that's how it goes.
Just how it goes. But I mean, it just goes to show. I mean, like we sort of talked about this yesterday on the show about these guys were probably the 2 fantasy MVPs this year. I argued for JSN over Puka based on third round ADP versus late first round for Puka. But still, when it mattered most. They absolutely crushed. It was looking dicey there for JSN for a little bit. Your best bet yesterday.
Oh, never doubt.
Yeah, 6.5. Oh, JSN over 6.5, but absolutely crushed.
0.5, needed overtime to get there. It's pretty wild, though, that Jaxon Smith-Njigba goes, like 8 for 96 on the game-winning touchdown in the end, and was doubled in points by his rival, his contemporary, Puka Nacua. Those two going to vie off. That's basically a head-to-head now for Offensive Player of the Year. I think that'll come down to the wire with the Colts struggling. And
why? I mean, is McVay just that good of a coach? Where just like, again, I think most people are suddenly like. He's the only guy. Yeah. Why aren't you bracketing him, triple teaming him?
They did. That's crazy.
That's what I'm saying.
Not all the time.
No,
and I felt like maybe they should have all the time.
Right.
McVay's a mastermind. I know it's weird to say that on a day we're breaking down the Seahawks have an amazing win. But, I mean, this is the second week in a row where they've had 3 tight ends on the field for over 61% of the time. Nobody in football does that. But what it does is it allows them to balance the run and the pass with an elite wide receiver in Puka, obviously no Davante Adams, and they use all these tight ends, much to our chagrin, because it's a little frustrating in fantasy. But the balance in their offense, and then to be able to feed their number 1 wide receiver, the Seahawks tried. They had a safety over the – they were playing different leverages. It just didn't matter. He's that good.
Yeah. Also, Kanata Mumfield, he's a real person. He is a real person. Don't get confused with that.
8 targets for Kanata Mumfield. Put some respect on his name.
Picked up in my Dynasty League last week.
Yeah, Xavier Smith. I thought tactically, Connor, it was fascinating because I really felt like the Rams were the better team last night, and I felt that the Seahawks were the better team in the first matchup where they lost.
I agree.
And they traded outcomes. But the beauty of the Seahawks defense, which was made to look not great last night, the beauty of that defense is that they can stay in lighter personnel and still destroy the run game. And so Sean McVay was just like, all right, well, you guys can stay in light personnel. You guys can stay in nickel. We're just going to put our tight ends out there. We're just going to maul you. And until the end where Stafford started getting hit a bit, Rams' O-line was magnificent, keeping Stafford upright. But ultimately, Nacua and his gravity was really what created everything.
I mean, even the one first down he caught through the defender.
Yeah, it's insane.
Like, there's nothing you could do there.
Yeah, I think Jaxon Smith-Njigba ultimately will win Offensive Player of the Year because the stats are going to be similar. JSN has Sam Darnold as his quarterback. Puka Nacua has the MVP likely as his quarterback, and Davante Adams
That didn't move,
well.
Right? I don't want to skip over that.
Yeah, so
Stafford, it's not like you look at that game and go, well, Stafford can't be the MVP anymore.
It's funny, his price is basically identical. I actually think he's more likely to win MVP now than he was before the game because, I mean, the guy just went 3 touchdowns, no picks, 457 yards against the Seahawks defense. But ultimately...
That's the thing that's most amazing. Like, I benched Stafford in a couple of leagues thinking, well, short week, no Davante Adams against Seattle. Like, his 3rd worst game of the season was against Seattle earlier in the year. And so it just sort of like, I mean, Stafford was brilliant.
He was. I think
brilliant last night. And so... Yeah, go ahead.
I think it's going to I thought Stafford was very good. He was very good. He put 457 and 3 touchdowns against the Seahawks. They did go 5 straight drives in the second half without scoring any points. It wasn't. It's been described as like Josh Allen against the Rams last year. I think it was quite that level. He was very good. He had an 80 PFF grade last night. That's what I thought it was. It was like an 80th percentile type of game. Puka did a lot of work after the catch. Now Stafford was great in his ability to succeed in that way without Davante Adams.
But they weren't getting anything really going on the run game. Like
they dropped some that they should have had too.
Yeah, Stafford missed
some Parkinson. We saw drinks for free.
And so exactly. I mean, in a game in which almost 80 points were scored, Colby Parkinson, who, listen, he was on my love list. I had him as top 10 play. A lot of people across the industry. I saw many angry Reddit threads about Colby Parkinson, and all of us drink for free. The play was right. 73% route participation for Colby Parkinson against a team that going into this game had given up the second most receiving yards, second most receptions to opposing tight ends. The problem is that tight ends did do well against them. It just wasn't Colby Parkinson.
They played three of them on the field at the time, all times.
That was it, and just it felt like they used Colby Parkinson more for blocking, which was weird. Like with Devontae Adams out, they went with 3 tight ends quite a bit, and they used Parkinson more for blocking, which was surprising me. I didn't think he was that good a blocker. I didn't think it was that much of a threat.
On the line of scrimmage for them, while the other guys get to play big slot a
lot. And so he led the tight ends in route participation, but obviously he had 2 big drops, obviously, and they didn't, he wasn't the tight end that scored the touchdown, which is very upsetting. So incredibly annoying, Colby Parkinson. Then in a game in which Matthew Stafford was brilliant, in a game in which Matthew Stafford threw 49 times, Colby Parkinson somehow, a week after he gets 75 yards, a week after his route participation has increased, again, 73% route participation, he was out there. Like they couldn't get him the ball. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. Do you think the Seahawks defense, statistically, really only the Texans have been better than them this year, but do you think they can be got a little bit where the Rams were relentlessly targeting Job at corner last night? Baker Mayfield put up 38 points against this team. Stafford just put up 37 admittedly in overtime with effectively a defensive score that got down to the one off the Darnold pick. But do you think that next week, not so much against the Panthers, but week 18, the Niners are not as scared of the Niners now?
It's not a perfect defense, right? It's definitely has a lot of young talent. Nick Eman-Ward got banged up last night. You could see the talent with him on the back end. Witherspoon's a great player. Witherspoon was step for step with Nacua on plays that Nacua would just make a miraculous catch. So, and then they come in waves with their pass rushers. I don't think you look at their defense and go, oh, they have a Micah Parsons or a Max Crosby or a TJ Watt. They just more come in waves. So,
and a lot of it is
I think that's really fair. And Mike McDonald's a mastermind, but who knows how to attack masterminds? Sean McVay.
Absolutely. To tie off the previous thought as well, I think JSN likely wins Offensive Player of the Year because the stats will be close and he's got the weaker quarterback and no Devontae Adams taking pressure off. I think Puka Nacua is the best receiver in football. What he can do contested catch-wise, I think, kind of separates him from JSN as well.
Yeah, a monster.
He's unbelievable. Insane to think he was a 5th-round pick. Insane.
Even they passed on him a couple times.
That's right. Credit to Les Snead and Sean McVay. And you've seen the clip is, about, hey, I think this guy could be something.
They really did like him.
But I don't think anyone thought that coming out of college he would be the best wide receiver in the NFL, let alone fantasy football. The last 2 things I'll say about this game here is that you need to take this game and this is a good question from Aloha Bricks. I think Puka's the number 1 wide receiver. I think he's probably.
The only thing is the injury stuff.
He's
more of an injury risk than JSN.
That's right. He's a first rounder. I think he's probably a top 5 guy overall.
He's definitely top.
I think he'll be the 2nd or 3rd player taken in most drafts.
That's probably right. You think about this year. You can make an argument again, assuming health. Like, could you take Jamar Chase over him? Sure. Could you take JSN over him? Sure. You're not taking CeeDee Lamb over him. You're not taking Jefferson over him.
No, I think it's JSN, Chase, and Puka.
Is there a running back you would take over him?
Bijan.
I think Bijan should be the number 1 pick.
Probably
because of the workload, the receiving work, and the fact that he doesn't get hurt. Which I know everyone's injury prone until they are.
But that's, by the way, in some order. It's those 3 wide receivers. It's Bijan. I think it's probably Devon Achane and Gibbs. With maybe Jonathan Taylor, again, depending on what they all. But that's probably your top 8 next year, would be my assumption.
Right. Yeah. Say who the Colts quarterback is.
Yeah, again, there's a lot of, what happens.
Kyler Murray. Yeah.
Joe Burrow's weird quotes in Cincinnati every week. I know it seems like a long shot, but I'm just saying a lot can change from now when we're sitting here in August.
Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and RotoWorld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched. Or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest Roto-World fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.